going to ask a few questions just to locate or just to remind ourselves where we stopped last time. I'm on page 65. If you look at 64, 63, and from 62 up until 63, we have an interaction between Hamlet and his two childhood friends. Question is, who are their names? Can you just, let me see, who can tell me what their names are quickly? Okay, anyone? What are the names of Hamlet's childhood friends? Okay, Keegan, thank you.
Sir, it is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Okay, thank you for that. And then maybe the follow-up question there is, what do we learn from their interaction with Hamlet? Katleho, are you there? Can you just quickly respond to this question? This question emanates from what we did last time. We looked at the interaction between Claudius and between Hamlet and his two childhood friends. Okay, what's the first thing that Hamlet wants to know from these two? Katleho, now I'm just trying to be specific. What do you remember? Okay, Katleho, I think there's something wrong with your mic. I'm not sure if you have earphones on or something, but you are very far. Can you repeat what you just said? Okay, are you still there? Okay, let me take Shona. I think that's Shona. Shona, can you respond to that?
So he asked them if they were sent by Claudius.
Okay. How do they respond? Katleho, can you tackle that one since you... how do they respond? Thank you, Shona. Do they respond honestly?
No, they don't.
Okay, what do they say then?
I think they ask questions about questions that probe Hamlet in a sense.
Okay, do you have maybe an example of those questions? Okay, Katleho. I think you just answered there, Katleho.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Keegan, can you help us here?
Sir, I believe one of the first questions Hamlet does ask the two is why they came here.
Okay. Okay, great. Go. Continue, and then. Okay, do they respond honestly or not? Okay, maybe no. Let's just do it like this. It's very important that I ask these questions and that you think about these things. Other than that, we can't just continue with our reading. We need to locate ourselves. Then once we establish where we are, then we can then move forward with understanding. So that's why I asked these questions. What we had to do was actually look at the interaction between Hamlet and his childhood friends. Maybe are they close, yes or no? If you can just respond to questions, maybe be prompt, then we can move faster. Other than that, I can't just give answers. It's not a lecture. I want us to have a discussion. This is based on something we did last time. Okay, Keegan, thank you.
Sir, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz are close with Hamlet because that was one of the main reasons that Claudius sent them to Hamlet.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that. And then, if you look at the response that they gave, what does it tell us? Maybe I need somebody to just summarize this interaction. I'm trying to give you clues. That's why now I'm giving you these smaller question. But the question was, what can you say about the interaction between Rosencrantz and between Hamlet's childhood friends as he probes them? First, he asks them why they are here, um, and then they are reluctant in answering, or maybe their conversation start off as playful and then it changes as Hamlet now wants to know why. I just want to locate the page so that we can just start there, because I think we are struggling a bit here. Go to page 62. I'm just going to read a few things up until 65. Okay. If you look at 62, you look at the top there, just above line 230. This is what he has said. My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern or Rosencrantz, good lads, how ye both? So this is when they start talking, right? And then if you look at, let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay, go to 64. Wait, let me see. Maybe before I go to 64, look at 63 at the bottom there, just below 270. Sorry, just above. He says, a dream itself, but a shadow. And then Rosencrantz says, truly, and I hold ambition to so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow. Then Hamlet says, then our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes, the beggar's shadow shall we to the court. So this is where he says, may they go to the court, or may they move inside. And then Hamlet says, no such matter, I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for, so to speak, to you like an honest man, I'm most dreadful attended, but in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore? So that's the first question that he asked. What brings you here? Now, when I quickly look at the responses, the first response that is given by Rosencrantz, I want to know, is it truthful or not? This is what he says. He says, to visit you, my lord, no other occasion. Is this a truthful response, yes or no? Then we move.
No, sir.
Okay, great. We know that is not being truthful. But how would you support that no? You say he's not being truthful because, yes, proceed. Okay, anyone? Just raise your hand or just unmute and say something. You would say they are not. Rosencrantz is not being truthful because. How do you support that? Okay, and then we have this issue of silence. Banele, I see that you are here. Why would you say Rosencrantz is not being truthful to say they are just here just to visit and no other occasion?
So I might say he's not being truthful because of the way he's responding to King Hamlet's questions and the attitude they're giving him.
Okay, what is the attitude? And you say the way he is responding, but then you are not telling us what way. And I'm afraid if you answer questions like that in your paper, you might lose a lot of marks. So can you just be specific even when you answer those questions? All I want here, I want you to use past information. This is something we've dealt with. So why is this not an honest response? Okay, Shona, let me...
Sir,
Yes, Shona.
at the start of the chapter, said Claudius brought them here so that they could spy on Hamlet. So he's lying. He's lying because Claudius was the one that called him here to spy on Hamlet.
Abongwe, I'm in a class, please. Yes, thank you. And that's exactly how we are going to respond. This is not true because they are asked by Claudius and Gertrude to be here. So thank you for that. Okay. So let's move on. Obviously, as you see here, that also Hamlet is not going to take that answer. He suspects that is something they are lying. Okay. And then in that line, in that line, he says, beggar that I am, I'm even poor in thanks, but I thank you, and sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear, halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Okay, as you see here, he seems to know, he suspects that they are not here on their own volition, but they are sent for. Again, remember the point I made last time that Hamlet again portrays himself as somebody who's all-knowing. He seems to know all these other characters' intention, as is able also to tell you that these two gentlemen are basically sent for. So now move to the next page. And then he asks again for confirmation. Again, you see, first he says, were you not sent for? And then he asks, is it your own inclining? Did you just decide to come here on your own? And then also he asks, is it a free visitation? And then this is when he says, come deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak. So again, you see that he wants to know and he doesn't believe their answers. Now, I'm going to jump to, let me see. Go to in the middle of that page, 290, just above there. First, he appeals to their conscience in a way. He says, deal with me justly, speak the truth. And then if you look at 280, you were sent for. And there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent you. Again, we know that Hamlet is right. They are indeed sent for. And he tells them exactly that I know that you are sent for. So he's able to see that. Okay. So now, if you were to deal with the theme of appearance versus reality, this is where you say things are not as they seem, or characters they pretend, or they hide their real intention. So this is basically one of the cases you can use in passing. Okay, so now I'm going to jump to Boy Harvey, so can you tell me exactly which line did we stop at on 65? I want us to continue now. I think we've reviewed what we did last time.
Sir, I don't know which line.
Okay, it's fine then. Let me see. Okay, we are going to start at I thought you gave me 64. Okay, let's start at 65 there, Rosencrantz. So let me just allocate. I'm not going to ask who is who because that might take time. Sisanda, it's good to see you here. Can you take Rosencrantz? Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. And then Banele, I'll give you, your hand is up. I'll give you, let me see. I have Rosencrantz and... okay, Banele, what do you want to take here?
I'd like to take Hamlet, sir.
Okay, Hamlet then. And then Guildenstern, can I take... okay, maybe... let me give that to Shona. Okay, thank you. Can we start then? Okay,
My lord,
yes.
there was no such stuff in words.
Why did you laugh? Then, when I said man delights not me.
Today, Lord, entertainment players shall receive from you. We quoted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tributes of me. The adventurous Canaanite shall use his oil and targets. The lover shall not sigh, bright the humorous man shall end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are tickle of the sea. And the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall halt forth. What players are they?
Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to change Sisanda because it delays. Sisanda, there is a delay. Are you busy with something or what? I can find somebody if you. Okay, can you just read? As soon as she's done, just jump in and read. No? Okay, proceed.
No, say, I think it's just my connection, sir.
Okay, you know what? Let me just do it like this then. Okay, let me find someone else. Let me see who's else is here. Keegan, can I use you?
Okay, sir.
Okay, can you take over Rosencrantz? Okay, proceed. Hamlet.
Okay.
How chances its day travel? Their residence both in reputation and profits was better both ways.
Okay, Rosencrantz.
I think their inhibition comes by the means of the late innovation.
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed?
No, indeed, they are not.
Okay, maybe let me just quickly summarize this and then we proceed. Rosencrantz tells Hamlet that there are players are coming or they've come. So we see that Hamlet is interested in that. So that's what the conversation is about. So that's why he probes Rosencrantz about the players. So he tries to find more information. So it is clear here that he's planning to use them for something. Okay, proceed.
How comes it? Do they grow rusty?
Nay, their endeavour keeps in the wonted pace, but there is, sir, an array of children, little Aiases, that cry out on the top of question, and are most tyrannically clapped for. They are now the fashion, and so brattle the common stages, so they call them, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills, and dare scarce come thither.
What are they children? What are they children? Who maintains them? How are they escorted? Will they pursue the quality no longer than they can sing? Will they not say afterwards if they should grow themselves to commonplace? As it is like most will if their means are no better. Their writers do them wrong to make them exclaim against their own succession.
Rosencrantz?
Faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tar them to controversy. There was for a while no money bid for argument, unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question.
Is it possible?
Oh, there has been
there
much
has-
throwing about.
What's happening now?
Shona is supposed to read it's Gullenston.
Okay, where is Guildenstern? Yeah? Oh, is it possible? Okay. Can you continue then? Guildenstern, can you read that?
Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains. Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load too.
It is not strange, for mine uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make wars at him while my father lived give 20, 40, and 100 ducats a piece of his picture entitled As Blood. There is something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out.
Okay, and then a flourish of trumpets, Guildenstern.
They are the players.
Okay, now maybe let me just pause here. Question is, why is Hamlet so interested in the players? Why do you think he's so interested in the players? Anyone? Okay, question, maybe let me just, is he interested or not? Anyone? That's a yes or no. So I'm trying to simplify this to get to the next question. Pila Sunday. Is Hamlet interested or not in the players, and how do we know that he's interested? So can you just cover that aspect as well?
I would say he keeps on asking more about players.
Okay, so this shows that he is interested, right? Thank you. Okay, great. So then the next question is, why do you think Hamlet is interested in the players? I know that he's asking questions. What is he going to use them for? And I think at this point in time, we should know this. Okay, Sisanda, let me pick you. Okay, are you here, Sisanda? Nah, he's gone. Okay. So can you take that one? Why is he so interested in the players? What's the reason?
I don't know, sir.
Yeah, that is worrisome because you are writing next week. Okay. Keegan, do you know? Okay, I'm not sure. Shona, your hand is up. I'm not sure if it's an old hand or you didn't put it down. Do you want to answer, Shona?
It's an old hand, so
So you're not going to
I
answer.
said this one I don't know.
Okay. It's fine. Let's read on then. Continue. He is going to use these players to act out the very scene where Claudius murders the king. So he's going to curate the play such that it portrays something like that, just to test whether the ghost was right or not. Okay, let's move on then. Okay, please proceed. Okay, Hamlet. Okay, Hamlet. Can you start, gentlemen?
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Ellisnore. Your hands carve the Puritans of welcome expression and ceremony. Let me comply with you in the God blessed my extends to the place, which I tell you must show fairy tale outwards, show more appear like entertainments than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle, father, and aunt's mother are deceived.
Okay, Kirsten.
In what, my dear Lord?
Okay, you know what? Let's deal with that because Hamlet says this. What do you make of the fact that he says this is what he says? More like a jab is throwing. He says, but my uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived. In a way, he is criticizing something. What is he criticizing? What is he saying exactly? Why not my mother and my father? It's my mother, my uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived. Okay, because let me see how many. Anyone who's willing to answer before I call names. Okay, you know what, Sisanda, are you still there? Okay, Sisanda is not here. He just joined and left. Okay, Banele, do you want to try?
Yes, I would like to try.
Okay.
Since my uncle, father, mother, and aunt are being deceived, I think like he's implying on that they're being deceived that his father died because of something, but they don't know that the person that they're living with, Claudius, killed his father.
Okay, that's not what I was anticipating. Keegan, but thank you for trying. Keegan, can you deal with aunt, mother, and uncle, father? What is he criticizing? What is Hamlet criticizing? Why does he call them like this?
So he's basically throwing shade at the fact that they married very quickly, and that of course his now father is actually his actual father's brother, so that makes him his uncle.
Yes, so in a way, thank you for that. In a way, Hamlet is still saying that this relationship is what? Is something less than a marriage, but it is incestuous. That's what he says. So that's why you see uncle, father, uncle, mother. And Hamlet is actually throwing a jab there. If you look at line 374 in the words and images, sorry, if you look at 370, gentlemen, you are welcome. Then with this formal welcome to his two friends, Hamlet implies that he no longer sees them as friends but as courtiers. And then you know that they are here. The fact that they are here and they were asked for, but then they lie and say they were there on their own volition. And then if you look at 376, my uncle, father, and aunt, mother, Hamlet lets his friend know that that the people they are working for are morally beneath contempt for a marriage that smacks of incest. So he's throwing a jab there. And he only see also the fact that he sees these guys, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are at work. So this is not like your free visitation or a friendly visit, but they are actually working. Every now and then they have to report Hamlet to, they have to give feedback on Hamlet to Gertrude as well as Claudius. Okay. So, okay, let's move on then quickly. Enter Polonius. I'm not sure if I'm moving too fast there. Okay, Hamlet. I am but mad. Can you read there?
I am but mad, northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from as henso.
Okay, now what I want you to notice here is this interaction then changes. But if you look at the interaction of Rosencrantz and Hamlet, that didn't come from in insanity, right? That was Hamlet is saying there, and you can follow the conversation. But as soon as Polonius enters, then Hamlet now he then put on antic disposition. Okay, so that's what I want to notice here. Okay, Polonius. Let me see who can take Polonius here. Boy, how is it? Do you have a character? Okay. Pilasande, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, can you take Polonius, please?
No, sir.
Are you saying no, you're not going to do it?
I'm not the one responding, sir. I think it's by Hadis.
Okay, it's fine. Just go ahead, Pilasande, then.
Yes, sir. Well be with you, gentlemen.
Okay, aside.
Hark you, Gulston, and you two, at each ear a hearer. That's great, baby. You see, there is not yet out of his sweating cloths.
Okay, what?
Happily, the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
Okay, now maybe let's just pause there. Again, Hamlet is now taking Polonius on. What does he compare Polonius to? Anyone? This is aside. Okay, Katleho.
He compares them to Polonius to a child.
A baby, right? So yeah, okay. And then now Rosencrantz makes a comment. Happily, he's the second time come to them. For they say an old man is twice a child, so they just are mocking the old man. Okay, Hamlet.
I will prophesy. He comes to tell me of the place. Mark it. You say right, say off for on Monday morning. 'Twas so indeed.
Okay, and then Hamlet's guess is that he's coming to tell him about. He's coming there to tell him about the players. Okay, so and then he tells his friends. I think Polonius cannot hear them, so it's the conversation between them. Okay, so Polonius.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
Thank you for that. Let's move on. Hamlet.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Rosarius was an actor in Romaine.
Okay, now again, you see now again this is what do you make of the way in which Hamlet responds? Polonius says, "Honestly, my lord, I have news for you." Remember, Hamlet already knows that he's there to tell him about the players, and then he also say, "I have news for you." And then again, he talks about one of a famous actor in Rome, and then Polonius.
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Okay, Hamlet.
Buzz.
Okay, so Hamlet was right. Okay, proceed.
Upon mine honor.
Okay, Hamlet.
Let him each actor as his as. The best actors in the world, neither for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral. What is that word say?
Pastoral,
Comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comedical, historical, pastoral, scene
indivisible,
indivisible or poem unlimited. What is that?
cynical,
cannot be too heavy, nor
plotus,
too light. For the law of breath and the liberty, these are the only men.
Okay, so he introduced these. He says these players, this is what they are capable of, and these are all the things that they offer. And you see, Hamlet, when Polonius, when he speaks, he takes his time, and he seems to very knowledgeable about what these players have. And then Hamlet, Jephthah.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou done.
What a treasure had he, my lord.
Why, one fair daughter and no more, there which he loved passing well.
Okay, now you see, back to insanity. If you look at the response there and you look at 403, Hamlet exclaims, he says, "Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou." This is again making reference to one of the Bible stories. If you check at line 403, his story is told in the Bible. This is in Judges chapter 11 and was often the subject of ballads. He sacrificed his daughter after a great victory over the Ammonites. So this is a man who goes to war, but before he goes to war, he tells God, he says, "God, if you give me victory, I'm going to sacrifice anything that comes to my house when I come back." And then it happens that he goes and fights the Ammonites, and then he wins the battle. But the first thing that comes when he comes back home, the first thing that comes out is his daughter. So because he made a vow, now he was forced to actually sacrifice his daughter. So Hamlet then he exclaims. So in a way, what point might Hamlet be making about Polonius with this reference? So what do you know about Polonius? What has Polonius done about his daughter? Okay, Keegan, I'll take you for the interest of time.
Sir, Polonius has been using his daughter to try and get information from Hamlet.
Okay, thank you. So in a way, Polonius also has sacrificed his daughter, right? Oh, he has, yes. For his, we know, also ironically, we know that Ophelia is going to die. He's going to drown herself. And it is all because of Polonius is doing. Okay, thank you. So that's the exclamation he's making here. Now he says, "Am I not in the right, old Jephthah?" Okay, he calls him that because it's more like also he's sacrificing his daughter. So this is a direct confrontation in a way. Can you read how Polonius responds on that? If you look at what it says, Polonius, what a treasure had he, my lord. Can you read there? That's Polonius.
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I a daughter that I love passing well.
Okay. Now that's a direct confrontation, right? If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well. And then Hamlet.
Am I not right, old Jephthah?
Okay, cool. Proceed.
What follows then, my lord?
Nay, that follows not.
Proceed. It doesn't stop there.
Nay, that follows not.
Okay, Polonius.
What follows then, my lord?
Why, as by Lord, God what? And then it came to pass as most like it was, The first row of the pious chancel will show you more to look where my abridgments come.
Okay, enter 4 or 5 players. Continue. It's long, so can you just read?
You're welcome. Master, welcome all. I'm glad to see very well. Welcome, good friends, oh my lord, oh my old friend. The face is violent since I saw the last comest door to bear me in Denmark. What's my young lady and mistress? Lady, your ladyship is near heaven than when I saw you last by the altitude of chopping. Pray God, your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. Well, we will end to, like French falconers, fly at anything we see. We will have a speech straight. Come give us a taste of your quality. Come a passionate speech.
Okay, as you see, Hamlet seems to be very excited and he welcomes this, and then he asks them to just give them a taste of what they have. So, first player, what speech, my good lord?
I had the speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. For the play, I remember. Pleased, not the million. 'Twas Caveria to the general, but it was, as I received it, and others whose judgment in such matters cried in the top of mine. An excellent play, well disguised in the scenes, set down with as much modesty as cunning. I remember one said there was no salads in the line to make the matter savory. No matter in the phrase that might indicate the order of affection.
Okay, from here it is clear Hamlet has an idea of what he wants them to play. It's something that they've done before, but he is going to tweak it then there. He's going to add, he's going to insert a scene where there is a king as well as the queen. So I think that's basically what this whole thing is about. Okay, Banele, I think I'm gonna give you a break. I think this is too long. Can I ask, you can share this one. Let me see. Okay, Katleho, can you just finish up the next part here on page 70? Is your mic fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I remember once said there was no silence in the lines to make the matter savory, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the author of affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like a high Carcanian beast. It is not so. It begins with Pyrrhus, the rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black at his purpose, did the knights resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse. Have now this red and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismissal, head to foot. Now is he total gullus, hardly tripped with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and passed it with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and damned lights to their vile murders, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus exercised with cool glades or with eyes like cubicles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire PM6. So proceeded.
Okay, so this is the what is supposed to act, but as you see, this story has a lot of blood and violence, and also contains murder. I think this resembles somehow Claudius's character in a way. So this is the part he wants them to actually play or test. Okay, Polonius.
Oh God, my Lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Okay, first player. Anon, he finds himself striking two shots at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal match, Pyrrhus at prime drives and rage strikes ward, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unsaved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel his blow with flaming top, stoops to his base, and with hideous crash, the takes prisoners Pyrrhus' ear. For lo his sword, which was declining on the milky head of a reverend prime, seemed in the air to strike, so as painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter did nothing. But as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the wreck stands still, the bold wind speechless, and the orb below as harsh as death. Unknown the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance set him anew awake, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars, his armor forged for proof eaten. With less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Prime. So this is a character who is engaging in murder. He's killing somebody. So like I said, that Pyrrhus maybe in a way would resemble Claudius's character. And then you see also in this story, after he murders this person, then after that comes revenge. So in a way, this act they are talking about here resembles Hamlet's situation, because he is the one who's supposed to avenge his father's death. Okay, where did I stop? Okay, out, thou strumpet fortune, all you gods in generals sign or take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and how the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as of the fiends. Polonius?
This is too long.
Obviously, Polonius thinks this is too long. Again, if you check the director's notepad on page 71. One director had Polonius fall asleep during the first player's recitation. He jerks awake with the actors, out, thou trumpet fortune. This might give added point to Hamlet's insult at line 49 to 500. And then he says, throughout the arrival of the actors and the recitations, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are on stage. They only leave at line 549. Question is, what are they doing? Obviously, you know that they are spying. Okay, so Hamlet, can you read what's next?
It shall to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tale of Baudry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
Okay, and then Queen. Let me see. First player. But who had seen the mobbed queen? So you see, all these players. There's also a queen. Yes, proceed.
The mocked queen.
Polonius.
That's good. Mocked queen, good.
Okay, run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison's realm and cloud. A cloud upon that head where late diadem stood, and for a robe about her length, and all over esteemed loins, a blanket in the alarum of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, gainst fortune's stage would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword, her hands limbs to the instant best of clamour that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milk the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods. Polonius?
Look where he has not turned his colors and has tears in her eyes. Pray you no more.
It says, well, I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstracts and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you will better have a bad epitaph than their ill reports while you live.
Okay, Polonius.
My lord, I will use them according to their deserts.
God's bodykins, man, much better. Use every man after his desert. And who should escape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Okay, Polonius.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. Will you hear a play tomorrow? Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the Murder of Gonzago?
Hey, my lord.
We'll have tomorrow night. You could for a need study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it. Could ye not?
Hey, my lord. Okay, so he asked them whether they could play, let me see, the Murder of Gonzago. Okay, again, this is a play. When they play this, then he asks, he says, he's going to make an insertion that says, you could for a need study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it. Could you not? So he says, can you insert this piece that I've written down? Obviously, this is going to, in a way, provoke Claudius's conscience. I think he's going to try and play out what the ghost told him. So that's what he's asking for here. Okay, Hamlet.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not.
Okay, players leave with Polonius.
My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You're welcome to Elsinore.
Okay, Rosencrantz, come back.
Good, my lord.
Hey, so God by you?
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern go off, and then Hamlet is alone. Maybe let's just take a pause there. I want to ask, what do you make of the fact that Hamlet goes such an extent to have the actors or to use the actors to play out the scene where his father is killed, or that mimic the day or the night of the murder of his father? What can you say about that? Anyone? Okay, you know what? Let me just do it like this. Let me start with Pilasande.
So can you please repeat the question?
Hamlet goes an extent to have the players, or he makes use of the players to actually play out what he's or what the ghost told him. He's playing out the scene where you have we have Claudius killing the queen. The Murder of Gonzago is going to insert that part to see whether the ghost was right or not, to see if Claudius react. The question is, what is your comment on that? Or what do you make of that? This is about Hamlet. This is him deciding on his own to have this acted out, to see the fact that he wants to test it out. What is your comment on that? Anyone? Okay, Katleho, your hand was up. I'm not sure if it was a mistake or because you immediately put it down again.
Oh, so you already said most of what I wanted to say, where he wanted to use the players to see Claudius's reaction and gather this as information, gather this as proof as to what the ghost has been saying. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you for that. Keegan, what's your impression of Hamlet in this regard?
Hamlet, even though he has been told by the ghost what happened, is still somewhat skeptical, and he wants to fully find out if it's true or not. He doesn't just believe it because he was told.
Okay. All right, thank you, Keegan. You remember somebody said, quote, it is a good, did they say it is a good ghost? Do you remember that? Something like that? Who said that? Oh, maybe let's not get too into who said it, but do you remember hearing such? Okay, let's not read to forget. I'm just going to refer you to let me refer you to okay, this is somehow between pages 30 something, 36, but I really can't find the exact line there where somebody says that. Okay, I really can't find it now, but it's there. Somebody makes a comment that it is a good ghost. Meaning, okay, this indicates that ghosts were known to bring what? Disaster somehow. Or they were like bad omen in a way. So to say it is a good ghost, so in a way Hamlet tries to see if this ghost is not just deceiving him to actually commit murder. So that's why he goes an extent to actually test it. So like you put it that in a way, you would say that Hamlet in a way is very cautious, or somebody could say, I said these are just delay tactics. The guy just doesn't want to actually do what he's supposed to. But again, that would be a very far-fetched comment to make, unless, of course, you base it on other things. But as far as we can see, I think that's basically being cautious, making sure what I had is right. But then the question is, once he finds out that Claudius reacts and he is guilty of a crime, why doesn't he kill him? But we can save that for later. Ne? Let's try to proceed. Okay, can we then move on? So that's basically the plans to play the Murder of Gonzago because he wants to see if Claudius will react. He's trying to shine light in Claudius's conscience. is Claudius going to be affected? In a way, we know that he does, right? Because immediately after this, there's disturbance there, there's disorder. And then when he now goes to Claudius in order to kill him, he finds him praying, meaning that this thing reminds Claudius about of his sins. And now he goes and pray, but then Hamlet decides not to avenge. He decided not to kill him because he says, if I kill him, he's praying, so he's going to go to heaven. So I want him to suffer. So he then decided to leave him. But we'll get there. Now, I want us to go to... we're on page 73, right? Now, Hamlet is alone, right? Can somebody read that? Now I'm alone. Now again, another window into Hamlet's thoughts, emotions, Hamlet's psyche. That's what interiority, where this again is another window into Hamlet's intentions. Yeah. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern goes off. Hamlet is alone. Remember, we are privy to his thoughts and emotions because we are the audience. So we are, but characters don't know that other characters are not privy to all these things. Like for example, conversations like this when Hamlet is alone. Okay, can you read that, Katleho? Oh, you want? Should I give you a break now, or you can proceed?
I can still read.
All right.
Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave I am. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his whole conceit, that from her working all his visage wore veiled, tears in his eyes, distraction in its aspects.
Okay, let's take it maybe piece by piece, ne? What does these lines reveals about Hamlet's inner self? What do these lines reveal about Hamlet's inner self? Imagine if there was an exam question, how would you respond to that? Banele, I want you to consider the lines. Ne? I'm going to read these lines for you, and I want you to try and look for the answer here in these lines. The answer is in these lines. Even in the exam, I want you to do the same thing. So I'm going to read. I don't want you to rush into giving answers. I want you to think about what he said here. Everyone has left. Hamlet emphasized that now I am alone. Look at that line. Now I am alone. What is implied by this line about Hamlet's life in general? Banela, you there? Now I am alone. Can you break that down? In relation to Hamlet's life in general. Okay, I would say it is a busy life, right? He's surrounded by people most of the time. He is grieving, right? And there's anger within him. Half of the time, he has to pretend to be somebody else. Okay, now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. How do these lines, or what do these lines reveal about Hamlet's inner self? Keegan, can you tackle that? In summary, can you just consider all these lines? I'm just going to read that and then I'll allow you to answer. Other people just make notes in case this you might need. Now I'm alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. It is not a monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul to his whole conceit, that from her working all his visage went tears in his eyes, distraction in aspect. So Hamlet considers how this player is devoted and how he's able to actually play out this scene. He's passionate about this scene, right? But this scene that he plays out here is not only just a fiction, it is Hamlet's reality. So I'm going to ask a question again, Keegan, and allow you to respond. How do these lines reveal? What do these lines reveal about Hamlet's inner self or inner conflict in a way? Sorry.
Sir, it does talk about how he does feel isolated because he feels like he's the only one actually grieving for his father still. Meanwhile, everyone else has moved on with their lives. And also, he feels conflicted, that he needs to hide all of this. He needs to hide his pain, his depression, and all of that from the world and try and act like he's happy with everything.
Okay, thank you for that. So maybe what's missing there in all the things you've said there, Keegan, is to maybe quote maybe just one piece of evidence to support all your claims, ne? I think that would be missing. For example, you could say maybe look at the first two lines, or what a rogue and peasant slave am I. So he feels like a slave. He's slave to emotions, he's slave to himself. Like you highlights that he is isolated in a way. And in another place, we know that he thinks that Denmark is a prison. So, but thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, now, Katleho, can you move? It's a long one, Katleho. Just go to 74 and read there.
Okay. A broken voice, and his whole function suiting, with forms to his conceit. And not for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him? Or he to Hecuba? That he should weep for her. What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech. Make mad the guilty and appeal the free, compel the free. Confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculty of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-middled rascal, peak like Johnny Jeeves, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, no, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life, a defeat was made. Am I a coward, who calls me a villain, breaks my pate across, cuts off my beard, and blows it in my face, tricks me by blows, gives me the line, throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Huh? Swans. I should take it, for it cannot be. But I am pigeon-livered and lack gall, to make oppression bitter, or ere this, I should have fatted at the region kites. With this slave's offal, bloody, body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain, a vengeance, oh vengeance.
Okay, so what you look at these questions, it seems like he is conflicted, right? And he starts now doubting himself. You look at the questions that he asks himself, whether he is a coward or not. Again, this is because he has taken a long time to act. He is still trying to prove what the ghost says. You look at the question like, am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face. Again, that again shows cowardice, where people can just do anything to you and we are not doing anything or reacting. If you look at words and images there, you look at not too far. Let me see. Yes. Who calls me villain to the lungs? It says all these insulting words and gestures would instantly have been repeated by a man of rank or honor. Hamlet is saying that given his present inability to act against Claudius, he would take all such insults without retaliation like a coward. So, in a way, what then the question says, so what's he saying? He is a coward or he isn't a coward. We know that he's actually taking his time, but also this speech here reveals inner conflicts. And then also we see that he contemplates on vengeance. I think this is shown there in the closing lines where he says, bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, and then he says, oh, vengeance. Okay, as he think about this, the more he wants to act, but somehow he feels like he has taken a long time. And then you look at the preceding questions on page 75, again they perpetuate the notion of cowardice. Can you proceed on page 75?
Why? What a bum am I? Hey, sure, this is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing like a buried dragon. A scullion, fie a punt. Oh, about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently that have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ.
Okay, can you just pause a bit there? We know that he's trying to have these players act out the scene, right? So this is what he says he understands about players sitting in a play. I'm going to deal with that and then I'll go further up. We're going to look at the other questions above there. He says, I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they've proclaimed their malefactions. So he knows, this is a theory that he has had, that if people are sitting there to play and that scene it portrays what they did, they would actually admit. So again, this is what he anticipates by having players playing out the scene. And then if you look at the top there, what an S am I sure this is the most brave that I. Okay, again, I think he's more like trying to affirm himself there. This is most brave that I, the son of the dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell. Again, by heaven and hell, those two are contradictory, right? In a way, by heaven and hell, is the ghost good or bad? Still not clear, right? Up until he sees Claudius's act. And this is again what he is testing, yeah. So I think that's why he says it's prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell. It says much like a whole unpacked my heart with words and fall a kissing like a very trap. Okay, can you just go down and continue where you stopped?
I'll observe his looks, play something like the murder of my father. Before mine uncle, I'll observe his looks. I'll tend him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course.
Okay, underline all that. That's the whole intention of the play. Okay, and then I'll ask you a question that will require that answer. Okay, so the question maybe would be account for the reason why Hamlet has invited players to play out the Murder of Gonzago. How do you respond? Of course, I want you to incorporate that aspect as well in your answer. I don't know where it's going to start, but whichever way, somewhere you have to insert or incorporate that thing I said underline, that intention. Account for the reason why Hamlet invites these players to play out the Murder of Gonzago. Okay, Plasande, can you answer? I know you can hear me. Yes, it's good. Do you want to try?
I would say Hamlet wants to observe his looks, as there in the passage it says, play something like the murder of my father. He wants to see how his father was murdered and how his uncle looked.
Okay. We have 4 minutes. It's 7:16. Let me try. Okay, Banel, you wanna try? Okay, thank you, Pilasande. I think part of the answer is there. Maybe I wanna hear other answers, and then we'll try to incorporate. We'll try to consolidate everything. Banel, your hand was up. Do you wanna answer?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna try. The reason why Hamlet invites these players to play the play of Gonzago's murder is because he wants to observe Claudius' reaction on how he's going to react on the play. And another thing, the reason why he wants to observe Claudius' way of reaction is because he wants to get revenge for his father. Even in the context, we can see when he says, I'll observe his play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I will tempt him. I will observe his looks play something like the murder of my father. I will tempt him to the quick. If he blench, I know my cause. The reason why he says his cause is to that he is going to make Claudius suffer for what he did.
Okay, there's a lot said in the answer. Some points are there, but you just need to clean it up. I think the way you actually organize it's more like scatterbrain in a way. Okay, so let me hear. This is the last page, and we're done with Act 2. Then we start Scene 3, maybe next week. Someone's hand was up. Shona, your hand was up. Can you just clean it up? Maybe in a way that we can all follow.
The reason Hamlet invites the players to act out the murder of Gonzago is that he wants Claudius to confess when he sees the play and to confirm his suspicion. To confirm his suspicions, he will observe Claudius when he sees the play.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Keegan. Yeah, the last one I'm taking now. This is the last comment. How would you respond to this question in your own way as you understand it?
Sir, Hamlet wants the actors to play out the play of Murder of Gonzago because he wants to, specifically before his uncle, because he wants to see his reaction to the play. And if he flinches, because it says, if he but blench, I know my cause. So if he much as flinches, then you'll know that he is guilty of that crime and that he will know that it was him.
Okay, and then his cause is to avenge, of course, so you'll then proceed with it. So thank you. I think this was the most productive class, so thank you for all your contributions. I think we are done with Act 2. Next time I see you, we'll start Act 3. I've tried to have classes. I think I sent the different dates there. Of course, today's date is done, so I did try to record this class. You can just go back to it whenever you want. I'll give you the link as soon as I'm done putting it up. Okay, thank you so much. So I'll see you next time. Then we'll start Act 3. Okay, what I want you to do is just keep reading the novel. It's not a problem for me, so at least I have to do most of this. Okay, goodbye and good night. See you next time.